Do you know what's more dangerous than failure?
It's killing your own chances before you even start. Just because of a lack of confidence, how many times have you stayed silent, held yourself back, and later regretted missing the chance to advance, to speak up, or even to change your life? Today, I'll show you quick but extremely powerful tips to boost your self-confidence, transforming you from someone who hesitates into someone who dares to act, dares to speak, and dares to conquer. Confidence is not always something you feel inside first. Often, it is something you can begin to project on the outside, and then your mind catches up with the signals your body is sending. One of the quickest and most powerful ways to build self-confidence is by focusing on your posture and body language. Human beings are deeply wired to read physical cues both in others and in themselves. The way you stand, sit, move, and hold yourself communicates to those around you how secure you are in yourself, and more surprisingly, it communicates back to your own brain as well. If you want to feel stronger, more capable, and ready to face challenges, starting with your body is one of the most practical strategies you can use. Imagine walking into a room for an interview or a presentation. You may feel nervous, and your mind may be racing with doubts. But if you enter with your shoulders back, your chest slightly lifted, and your eyes facing forward, you create an immediate impression of composure. The people around you begin to treat you as though you are confident, and that feedback loop reinforces the feeling internally. Compare this to entering the same room with hunched shoulders, eyes cast downward, and tentative movements. Even if you are highly skilled, that physical stance suggests hesitation or lack of self-belief. And not only will others pick up on it, but you yourself will feel smaller and less capable. Posture acts as a mirror that reflects and shapes reality simultaneously. The psychology behind posture and confidence is often described with the phrase, "fake it till you make it." While this might sound superficial, it is rooted in actual science. Researchers studying body language, such as Amy Cuddy's famous work on power poses, have demonstrated that adopting expansive, open stances can increase feelings of power and reduce stress, at least temporarily. When you spread out your body, take up more space, and avoid shrinking into yourself, your brain interprets that as a signal of strength. Hormonal changes have even been observed in some studies, with increases in testosterone and decreases in cortisol after practicing confident postures. While the long-term effects are still debated, the short-term impact is undeniable. Changing your body language shifts how you feel. Think about everyday scenarios where body language can become your hidden ally. Before a meeting at work, rather than scrolling nervously through your phone, take a few deep breaths, plant your feet firmly on the ground, and stand tall. When speaking to someone, maintain steady but natural eye contact. It does not mean staring intensely, but allowing your gaze to meet theirs with calm assurance. Gestures matter too. Using your hands purposefully while speaking can add weight to your words and make you appear more engaged. Even something as simple as offering a firm handshake signals confidence and creates an impression that lingers long after the interaction is over. Beyond professional settings, posture plays a role in social and personal life as well. When you walk into a party or social gathering, how you carry yourself will determine how approachable you seem. If you stand with arms crossed tightly over your chest, avoiding eye contact, people may interpret you as distant or uninterested, even if you simply feel shy. On the other hand, standing with open arms, relaxed shoulders, and a slight smile communicates warmth and self-assurance, encouraging others to engage with you. Over time, practicing this body language not only changes how others respond, but also rewires your own experience of such situations. You start to expect positive responses, which naturally increases confidence. It is also important to consider how posture connects to your internal physiology. Breathing deeply and steadily is easier when your chest is open and your back is straight. Shallow breathing, which often accompanies slouched or collapsed posture, signals stress to your body and heightens anxiety. By maintaining an upright stance, you support deeper breathing, which in turn calms your nervous system. This is a simple but profound loop. Posture influences breath, breath influences emotion, and emotion influences confidence. What begins with a small physical adjustment cascades into a much broader shift in your state of being. One powerful exercise to build confidence through posture is to practice anchoring body positions before significant events. Stand in front of a mirror, feet shoulder-width apart, hands on your hips or gently at your sides. Shoulders rolled back, chin lifted slightly, and breathe deeply for 2 minutes. Visualize yourself succeeding at the task ahead. This not only centers your focus, but also primes your body to respond with strength rather than fear. Athletes, performers, and public speakers often use such rituals to channel nervous energy into confident presence. You do not need to wait for a major event. Practicing such stances daily builds a reservoir of embodied confidence that you can draw upon any time. Of course, adopting confident posture is not about pretending to be someone you are not. It is about aligning your external presentation with the inner potential you already carry. Many people underestimate themselves, shrinking physically as though to match their self-doubt. By consciously reversing that tendency, you remind yourself of your own worth and capacity. Think of it as giving your mind permission to believe in your abilities by showing it evidence through your body. Over time, what begins as a deliberate choice becomes second nature, and your natural posture will start to reflect a stronger self-image. Another subtle but powerful element of body language is pace. Moving too quickly, fidgeting, or shifting nervously from side to side signals uncertainty. Slowing down your movements, walking with steady steps, and pausing intentionally when speaking projects calm assurance. People often associate quick, jittery motions with anxiety, while measured, deliberate actions suggest control. Practicing mindfulness in your movements is a form of posture training. It reminds your body that you are in command of the moment, not being swept away by it. It is also worth noting that cultural context can shape how body language is interpreted. What is seen as confident eye contact in one culture may be considered too aggressive in another. Similarly, gestures that indicate openness in one setting might carry different meanings elsewhere. However, the universal principles remain. Open, relaxed, upright, and engaged body language almost always communicates positivity and confidence. Tailoring these principles to your environment ensures that you appear not only confident, but also respectful and attuned to those around you. In building self-confidence, there is often a temptation to focus solely on internal mindset shifts. While that is essential, posture and body language offer an external route to the same destination. They act as shortcuts, allowing you to bypass mental resistance and step into a more empowered version of yourself quickly. Over time, this external practice reinforces the internal reality, and confidence becomes a habit rather than an effort. Every time you choose to stand tall, meet someone's eyes, or speak with steady gestures, you cast a vote for the confident person you are becoming. The most encouraging truth is that these adjustments are free, immediate, and within your control. You do not need years of training or a dramatic transformation to begin using posture to shape your confidence. All it takes is awareness and practice in your daily life. While walking down the street, entering a room, or speaking to a friend, each moment is an opportunity to remind yourself that you deserve to take up space, to be heard, and to be seen as capable. When you embody that belief physically, your mind follows, and confidence naturally grows. Confidence does not just come from how you hold yourself physically. It is also shaped profoundly by the way you talk to yourself internally. Positive self-talk is one of the most powerful tools for boosting confidence, yet it is often overlooked. The conversations you have with yourself day after day set the foundation for how you see your abilities, how you approach challenges, and how you respond to setbacks. If your inner voice is harsh, critical, or constantly doubting, your confidence will naturally erode over time. On the other hand, if your inner dialogue is encouraging, constructive, and focused on growth, you create a mental environment where confidence can flourish. Think for a moment about the way you speak to a close friend who is struggling. You would likely offer encouragement, remind them of their strengths, and reassure them that they are capable of improving. Now compare that to how most people speak to themselves in moments of difficulty. I always mess things up, I'm not good enough, or this is impossible for me. That contrast is striking. Many people are kinder to others than they are to themselves, and this imbalance drains confidence. Positive self-talk is about learning to become your own ally rather than your own enemy. The words you repeat to yourself become the stories you believe. If you constantly tell yourself, "I can't do this," you will eventually avoid trying altogether. But if you replace that thought with, "I can try and I can learn from the process," you shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Confidence grows not from the illusion of perfection, but from the willingness to attempt, fail, and grow. Positive self-talk does not deny difficulties or sugarcoat reality. It reframes challenges in a way that empowers rather than defeats you. Consider athletes preparing for competition. Many of them use affirmations or mantras to focus their minds and prime their performance. A runner might repeat, I am strong, I am fast, I am ready, while training and before stepping onto the track. This repetition conditions the brain to associate effort with capability. In contrast, a runner who constantly thinks, I'm too slow, I can't keep up, is sabotaging themselves before the race even begins. The physical preparation might be the same, but the inner dialogue creates two completely different outcomes in confidence and performance. Positive self-talk also helps dismantle the cycle of fear and avoidance. When you face a daunting task, such as giving a public speech, your mind may flood with self-doubt. I'll embarrass myself. They'll laugh at me. I'll forget everything. These thoughts trigger anxiety, and the anxiety reinforces the belief that you are not capable. By consciously intervening with supportive self-talk, I've prepared well, I know my material, I can handle this step by step, you reduce fear and strengthen your resolve. It is not about magically eliminating nerves, but about replacing destructive scripts with constructive ones that give you a fighting chance. One effective technique is to practice daily affirmations. These are short, powerful statements that affirm your abilities and worth. For example, I am confident in my skills. I am capable of learning and improving. I deserve success. Writing them down and repeating them each morning can feel strange at first, but over time, repetition helps them sink into your subconscious. Just as negative self-talk becomes habitual, so too can positive affirmations. They act as seeds planted in the mind that gradually grow into stronger beliefs. Another strategy is to challenge negative thoughts directly. When you catch yourself thinking, I always fail, stop and ask, is that really true? What about the times I succeeded? By questioning the validity of your inner critic, you weaken its power. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, one of the most effective psychological approaches for building confidence, is built on this principle. Identify distorted thoughts, challenge them with evidence, and replace them with balanced perspectives. For instance, instead of thinking, I'm terrible at public speaking, you might replace it with, public speaking makes me nervous, but I've improved before, and I can improve again. Positive self-talk also extends to how you frame mistakes. Everyone fails at times, but the internal commentary that follows matters greatly. If you tell yourself, this failure proves I'm not good enough, you shrink from future challenges. If instead you say, this was a learning experience and next time I'll do better, you build resilience. Over time, this resilience strengthens your confidence because you stop fearing failure. You begin to trust yourself to handle difficulties, which is the essence of self-confidence. Even small changes in language make a difference. Notice the shift between, I have to do this and I get to do this. The first implies burden, the second implies opportunity, or between, I'm not good at this and I'm still learning this. The second phrase leaves the door open for growth. Words carry weight, and the way you speak to yourself shapes your reality. By carefully choosing and practicing supportive language, you create a mindset where confidence feels natural. It is important to remember that positive self-talk is not about pretending everything is perfect or denying challenges. It is about choosing interpretations that empower you rather than weaken you. If you are facing a tough exam, it is not helpful to tell yourself, this will be easy, if you know it will be difficult. But it is powerful to tell yourself, this will be challenging, but I've studied hard, and I am prepared to give my best effort. That balance of realism and encouragement helps you approach the situation with both courage and clarity. The benefits of positive self-talk extend beyond confidence into overall mental health. People who practice it regularly report lower stress levels, better problem-solving abilities, and greater persistence. Confidence is not only about feeling good in the moment, it is about creating the mental stamina to keep going despite obstacles. Positive self-talk fuels that stamina. It creates an inner environment where setbacks are not the end of the story, but simply a chapter along the way. In practical terms, developing positive self-talk requires consistency. Start by noticing your inner dialogue. Awareness is the first step. Keep a journal of common negative phrases you use on yourself. Then, write down alternative supportive phrases you can use instead. Practice saying them out loud, even if it feels uncomfortable. Over time, you will find that your automatic thoughts shift. Just as a muscle grows stronger with repeated exercise, your capacity for confidence grows stronger with repeated positive self-talk. Ultimately, your inner voice is the soundtrack of your life. If it is constantly critical, your confidence will falter no matter how much external success you achieve. But if it is kind, encouraging, and rooted in belief in your ability to grow, your confidence will rise naturally, even when circumstances are tough. Positive self-talk is not a one-time trick, but a lifelong habit, one that transforms not only how you see yourself, but also how you engage with the world. By choosing to become your own best supporter, you lay the foundation for lasting confidence. Confidence is often described as a feeling, but it is also a reflection of how well you take care of yourself. The way you dress, groom, and maintain your physical appearance can dramatically influence how you perceive yourself and how others perceive you. While it is true that self-worth should not be based entirely on external appearance, the reality is that your outer presentation and self-care habits strongly affect your inner confidence. Dressing well and practicing self-care are quick, tangible ways to send yourself the message: I matter, and I deserve to be respected. That message then reverberates outward, shaping how you engage with the world. Think about the last time you wore an outfit that truly made you feel good. Perhaps it fit well, matched your style, and suited the occasion perfectly. You likely noticed that your posture improved, your energy lifted, and your interactions with others became more fluid. Now contrast that with the times you threw something on hastily, feeling sloppy or underprepared. The difference is striking. When you feel comfortable and polished in your appearance, you project confidence naturally. People respond to you differently, and more importantly, you respond to yourself differently. The psychological link between appearance and confidence is not about vanity, it is about alignment. When your external presentation matches the level of respect and dignity you want to feel internally, there is harmony. Dressing well does not mean wearing the most expensive brands or following every fashion trend. It means choosing clothes that fit your body properly, reflect your personality, and are appropriate for the setting. Cleanliness, neatness, and intentionality matter far more than price tags. The simple act of ironing your shirt, polishing your shoes, or grooming your hair can boost your confidence because it signals that you are putting effort into how you show up in the world. Self-care extends beyond clothing to the broader practices of maintaining your physical and mental well-being. Regular exercise, for example, improves not only your health, but also your confidence. When you feel physically strong, you walk into situations with greater assurance. Similarly, maintaining good hygiene, eating balanced meals, and getting enough rest are not luxuries. They are foundational acts of self-respect. Neglecting these areas often erodes confidence because you subconsciously send yourself the message that you are not worth the effort. By contrast, consistent self-care habits tell your mind and body, I am valuable and I take myself seriously. Another important aspect of self-care is routine. Establishing daily rituals, whether it's a skincare routine, a morning stretch, or a few minutes of mindful meditation, helps anchor your sense of self. These rituals create predictability and stability, which in turn foster confidence. For example, starting the day with a well-organized routine, showering, dressing neatly, eating a nutritious breakfast, sets the tone for how you carry yourself throughout the day. You begin from a place of composure rather than chaos. That foundation can be the difference between entering a meeting with calm assurance versus stumbling and feeling rushed and unprepared. It is worth emphasizing that dressing well and self-care are not about impressing others, though that can be a side effect. The deeper purpose is impressing yourself. Confidence is internal, but it is reinforced by external cues. If you see yourself in the mirror looking put together, you internalize the message that you are capable and worthy. Over time, this creates a feedback loop. The more you invest in your appearance and well-being, the more confident you feel. The more confident you feel, the more consistently you invest in those habits. For some, the idea of dressing well can feel intimidating, especially if they believe fashion is superficial or if they are unsure of their personal style. But dressing well is less about fashion and more about intentionality. Even a simple outfit, clean jeans and a well-fitted shirt, can radiate confidence if chosen deliberately. It is about asking yourself, Does this outfit represent who I want to be today? Does it help me feel prepared and capable? When the answer is yes, the clothing becomes a tool for empowerment. Moreover, self-care is not limited to the physical domain. Mental and emotional self-care are equally critical for confidence. Taking time to rest, practicing gratitude, journaling, or seeking therapy when needed all contribute to a healthy inner life. Confidence falters when you are burned out, overwhelmed, or emotionally neglected. By carving out time to care for your mental health, you create a stronger base from which confidence can grow. It is also important to note the connection between self-care and boundaries. Confidence is not only about how you present yourself, but also about how you protect your time, energy, and well-being. Saying no to commitments that drain you, distancing yourself from toxic environments, and choosing relationships that uplift you are acts of self-care. These decisions reinforce the belief that your needs matter, which is the foundation of genuine confidence. Consider, too, the cultural and personal significance of appearance. For some, traditional clothing, religious attire, or personal symbols carry deep meaning and reinforce identity. Wearing such items proudly can be a powerful act of self-confidence, connecting inner values with outer expression. The key is authenticity. When your external choices align with your internal values, confidence shines naturally. One practical exercise to strengthen confidence through appearance and self-care is to conduct a personal audit. Go through your wardrobe and remove items that no longer fit, that you associate with negative memories, or that make you feel uncomfortable. Replace them gradually with pieces that fit well and make you feel confident. Similarly, assess your daily self-care routines. Are there small adjustments, like drinking more water, getting consistent sleep, or adding short exercise sessions, that could significantly boost how you feel about yourself? Often, these minor changes compound into major confidence gains over time. Finally, remember that confidence is contagious. When you dress well and take care of yourself, you not only improve your own mindset, but also inspire others. People notice when someone values themselves, and they respond with respect. This creates a reinforcing cycle. The respect you receive from others strengthens your self-confidence, which motivates you to continue investing in your well-being. Dressing well and practicing self-care are quick tips, but they are also long-term strategies. They are not superficial masks you put on temporarily. They are practices that build a deeper sense of self-worth. By treating yourself with respect in visible, tangible ways, you teach your mind and body to believe in your own value. And when you believe in your value, confidence flows naturally. Confidence often feels like a mysterious quality, something you either have or you don't. But in reality, confidence is usually the result of preparation. When you prepare thoroughly before taking action, whether it's a presentation, a job interview, a performance, or even a difficult conversation, you eliminate uncertainty and replace it with a sense of readiness. That readiness is what allows confidence to emerge. It's not about eliminating fear completely, but about building enough familiarity and assurance that fear does not control you. Preparation turns unknowns into knowns, and in doing so, it transforms anxiety into confidence. Imagine a student about to give a speech in front of a large audience. If they haven't practiced, their mind will race with doubts. What if I forget my words? What if I look foolish? The lack of preparation amplifies the fear. But if that same student has rehearsed multiple times, recorded themselves, adjusted their tone, and internalized the main points, they walk onto the stage with a completely different mindset. They may still feel nervous, but their preparation acts as a safety net. They know they've done the work, and that knowledge itself breeds confidence. This principle applies across nearly every area of life. Athletes train relentlessly, not only to build physical skill, but also to build confidence in their abilities. A marathon runner knows they can cross the finish line because they have logged the miles in practice. Musicians rehearse scales and pieces until muscle memory takes over, giving them confidence in performance. Professionals prepare for meetings by studying data, anticipating questions, and outlining solutions. In all of these cases, preparation removes guesswork and creates a foundation of certainty, which allows confidence to grow. Preparation also reduces the power of fear by making the unfamiliar more familiar. Human beings naturally fear the unknown. When you face something new without preparation, your brain interprets it as a potential threat. But when you've prepared, you create a mental map of what to expect. The unknown becomes known, and the brain relaxes. For example, if you are preparing for a job interview, researching the company, practicing common questions, and rehearsing your responses makes the experience feel less intimidating. Instead of walking in blind, you walk in equipped. That shift changes your posture, your tone, and the way you carry yourself, all of which project confidence. Another critical aspect of preparation is visualization. Confidence does not come only from external practice, but also from mental rehearsal. Many high-performing individuals, from athletes to CEOs, use visualization to prepare their minds for success. Before a big event, they close their eyes and picture themselves succeeding, crossing the finish line, delivering the perfect pitch, or answering tough questions calmly. This mental preparation primes the brain, building neural pathways similar to those created by actual practice. When the real moment arrives, the brain feels as though it has already been there, which enhances confidence. Preparation also teaches resilience. Even with the best planning, unexpected challenges can arise. But thorough preparation gives you the tools to adapt. A well-prepared speaker who forgets a line can quickly pivot because they know the material deeply, rather than relying on rote memorization. A prepared professional facing a surprise question in a meeting can draw on their research and respond thoughtfully. Confidence grows not from knowing everything will go perfectly, but from knowing you can handle what happens, even if it doesn't go according to plan. That assurance only comes through preparation. It's also important to recognize that preparation builds trust, not only in yourself, but also from others. When people see that you've put in the effort, they are more likely to trust your abilities. A client trusts a consultant who clearly understands their business. A team trusts a leader who anticipates challenges and comes with solutions. A teacher trusts a student who has studied diligently. That external trust feeds back into your own confidence. You begin to see evidence that your preparation is effective, and that reinforces your belief in yourself. Preparation does not mean perfectionism. There's a crucial distinction between preparing thoroughly and trying to eliminate every possible flaw. Perfectionism often leads to procrastination and anxiety, because the goal of perfect is unattainable. True preparation is about equipping yourself to perform at your best, not about erasing all uncertainty. In fact, over-preparing in a rigid way can sometimes harm confidence because it creates dependence on a script or a single plan. The healthiest preparation includes flexibility, practicing enough that you know the material, but also leaving room to adapt in the moment. In everyday life, preparation can take simple but powerful forms. Before a social event, preparing a few questions you can ask people can make you feel more at ease. Before a meeting, reviewing the agenda and jotting down key talking points boosts your confidence. Before a workout, setting clear goals and planning your routine helps you feel capable and focused. Small acts of preparation accumulate into a general habit of readiness, and that habit translates into confidence across different areas of life. One effective method to strengthen confidence through preparation is the mock rehearsal. If you're preparing for a presentation, practice in front of a mirror, or record yourself to see your body language. If you're preparing for an interview, role play with a friend who asks you challenging questions. If you're preparing for a performance, simulate the real conditions as closely as possible. These rehearsals create a sense of familiarity and reduce the shock of the real event. The more you expose yourself to the situation in advance, the more confident you will feel when it actually arrives. Preparation also intersects with time management. Confidence often collapses when you feel rushed or underprepared simply because you ran out of time. Procrastination leads to last-minute stress, which undermines confidence. On the other hand, creating a timeline and breaking preparation into small steps allows you to build confidence gradually. Each completed step, researching, rehearsing, refining, adds another layer of assurance. By the time the event arrives, you're not scrambling. You're ready. Ultimately, preparation is one of the most practical, reliable ways to boost self-confidence quickly. While mindset and posture are important, they can only go so far if you don't actually know your material or haven't practiced your skills. True confidence is rooted in competence, and competence comes from preparation. When you prepare, you tell yourself, "I've done the work. I am ready." That belief quiets self-doubt and allows your best self to shine through. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the trust that you can handle whatever comes your way. Preparation builds that trust. It transforms nervous energy into focused energy, replaces doubt with clarity, and allows you to step into challenges with poise. The next time you face something intimidating, remember that confidence does not magically appear. It is built step by step, rehearsal by rehearsal, plan by plan. Preparation is the bridge that carries you from fear to confidence, and it is a bridge you can choose to walk every time. Starting small and celebrating wins is often overlooked, yet it's one of the most effective ways to build self-confidence that actually lasts. Many people believe confidence is something you either have or don't, as if it's a natural gift. But in reality, confidence is a muscle. It strengthens through consistent practice, little victories, and the recognition of progress. Imagine trying to lift a heavy weight at the gym without ever lifting anything before. It would feel impossible, discouraging, maybe even painful. But if you start with something lighter, something you can handle, and gradually increase, over time you'll find yourself capable of lifting far more than you ever thought possible. Confidence works the same way. It doesn't happen overnight, but rather grows step by step, through manageable challenges and small accomplishments that accumulate into a stronger sense of self-belief. One of the keys to this approach is breaking big goals into smaller, more achievable ones. When people set out to build self-confidence, they often aim too high at the start. They expect to suddenly feel fearless in public speaking, excel at a new skill instantly, or approach every challenge with ease. But when the bar is set unrealistically high, failure is almost guaranteed, and failure can reinforce the very insecurities we're trying to overcome. By contrast, setting small, achievable goals gives us an immediate sense of progress and creates momentum. For example, if your ultimate goal is to deliver a confident presentation to a large audience, start smaller. Practice speaking in front of a mirror, then to a close friend, then to a group of a few people. Each time you succeed, no matter how small the step, you're proving to yourself that you're capable. That evidence builds confidence far more effectively than expecting to conquer everything in one giant leap. Celebrating these wins is equally important. Too often, people downplay their progress by telling themselves, "It was nothing," or "That wasn't a big deal." But if you continually dismiss your efforts, you rob yourself of the confidence boost that comes from recognizing growth. Think of a child learning to walk. Every step is celebrated, even if the child falls moments later. That encouragement builds the resilience to keep going. Adults need the same kind of encouragement, but the challenge is that we have to give it to ourselves. A simple act like pausing to acknowledge that you spoke up in a meeting when you usually stay quiet, or rewarding yourself for completing a task you've been procrastinating on, sends a powerful signal to your brain. I am progressing, and my efforts matter. That reinforcement fuels the motivation to tackle bigger challenges. Another aspect of starting small is the psychological principle known as the progress loop. When we achieve something, even a minor success, the brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. That dopamine not only makes us feel good in the moment, but it also motivates us to repeat the behavior that led to the success. This creates a self-sustaining loop. Small win, dopamine release, motivation to pursue the next step, another win, more dopamine, and so on. Over time, this loop conditions the brain to associate effort with positive outcomes, and self-confidence grows as a natural byproduct. This is why small victories should never be underestimated. They are literally rewiring your brain to believe in yourself. To make this strategy practical, consider the concept of micro-goals. Instead of setting an overwhelming goal like get in shape, set a micro-goal like go for a 10-minute walk today. Instead of aiming to write a book, set a goal to write 200 words today. These smaller tasks are far easier to start, and starting is often the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum kicks in. And when you finish, you have a tangible accomplishment to celebrate. Over time, those micro-goals add up to massive achievements, and your confidence grows in alignment with your expanding capabilities. It's also worth mentioning that celebrating wins doesn't have to mean grand gestures. You don't need to throw a party every time you succeed at something small. Simple acknowledgments like journaling your progress, treating yourself to something you enjoy, or even just pausing to say, "I'm proud of myself for doing that," can make a big difference. The key is that you recognize and honor the effort you put in, rather than brushing it aside as insignificant. Over time, this habit of self-recognition trains your mind to look for progress instead of perfection. which is a critical shift in building confidence. Starting small also helps combat one of the biggest enemies of confidence, fear of failure. When the stakes are too high, fear can paralyze us, keeping us from taking action at all. But when the task is small and manageable, the fear is less overwhelming. Even if you stumble, the consequences are minor, and the experience still counts as practice. In fact, encountering small failures in a low-stakes context can be incredibly valuable because it teaches resilience. You learn that failure isn't the end of the world. It's just part of the process. Each time you recover from a small setback, your confidence in your ability to handle challenges grows stronger. Another benefit of this approach is that it builds consistency. Confidence thrives on repetition. By setting small, repeatable actions, like speaking up once per day, writing a few sentences every morning, or practicing a skill for 10 minutes, you're creating habits that compound over time. Habits remove the need for willpower, which means your progress becomes more sustainable. As your habits solidify, your confidence isn't just situational, it becomes part of your identity. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who grows steadily, someone who can be trusted to make progress. There's also a powerful social component to starting small and celebrating wins. When you share your progress with others, friends, family, mentors, you not only reinforce your own confidence, but also inspire those around you. People love to celebrate victories, and their encouragement can amplify your sense of accomplishment. Just as importantly, by being open about your journey, you normalize the idea that confidence is built, not born. Others see your small steps and realize they, too, can begin where they are. This creates a ripple effect of growth and encouragement. Over time, what happens is transformational. The small goals you once celebrated, like speaking up in a meeting, going to the gym once, or trying a new hobby, become part of your normal behavior. Your baseline confidence rises, and what once seemed daunting now feels natural. At this point, you're ready to take on bigger challenges, and you do so with a sense of grounded confidence rather than forced bravado. The key to all of it was simply beginning small, honoring the process, and celebrating the journey along the way. Ultimately, building self-confidence isn't about waiting for a magical moment of transformation. It's about consistently creating opportunities for yourself to succeed, no matter how small, and acknowledging those successes with gratitude and pride. Each step forward, no matter how modest, is a deposit into your confidence account. Over time, those deposits compound into unshakable self-belief. So if you want to boost your confidence, start today with the smallest possible step you can take. And when you do, don't forget to celebrate it. That single action, repeated consistently, has the power to reshape the way you see yourself and the reality you create. Remember this: confidence isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you can train every single day. If today you apply even just one of these quick tips, you're already one step closer to becoming the strongest version of yourself. And there are many more powerful secrets I'll be sharing in upcoming videos. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss another chance to grow your confidence and break through. See you in the next video.